Last night I watched The Toxic Avenger, the remake slash reboot of the classic junk VHS series of movies about a 98-pound weakling who is thrown by bullies into a vat of toxic waste and emerges as the Toxic Avenger, a horribly mutated and deformed physical powerhouse who fights evil on the streets of Tromaville. That spawned four movies and even an animated TV series aimed at younger children as the monstrous Toxie uh, takes on evildoers and villainous types in bizarrely over the top adventures. This new film has a much bigger budget, a much more prestigious cast, um, and the writing and directing of Macon Blair, whose creative partner Jeremy Saulnier had previously worked with him on Green Room, Blue Ruin, and Macon Blair's directing debut, I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. This film reunites him with that film's star, Peter Dinklage, as Winston Goose, a janitor for a health company which seems to specialize in producing massive amounts of toxic waste, which it dumps in a nearby lake, completely, effectively eradicating the ecosystem of the town of St. Roma Village. See, some of the letters on the sign are easier to read. When his health takes a turn for the worse and he's desperate for money, he gets mixed up with whistleblowers trying to expose the company's evil doing and winds up being thrown into the toxic waste, mutating into the Toxic Avenger and taking on the villains using his toxic waste covered mop, which goes through flesh like a knife through hot butter. And so there is a lot of gore, there's a lot of dismembered bodies and pieces and fountains of blood going all over the place. It's an incredibly gory, violent film, but it's always somehow maintains a cheery comic book tone. It's like a comic strip. It's so bizarre and over the top that it's impossible to be upset by it. There is a lot of swearing again. It's all meant to be completely ridiculous, completely absurd, completely over the top. It's a shame that the film, when it was released in the US, it struggled to get a rating because of the level of violence. But the violence is so cartoonish that it's not dark and disturbing. I don't think it's certainly only suitable for adults, but it's goofy, it's daft, it's like a cartoon. Um, the film does have some things to say about corporate control, certainly about medical insurance costs, because Winston is driven to commit the robbery that leads to him becoming mutated by a serious medical condition, which is deliberately left unnamed. And in the film's promotion, in fact, rather than spending millions of dollars promoting the movie, the distributor simply bought up millions of dollars worth of medical debt and cancelled it as a way of promoting the movie through goodwill, which I think was a terrific idea. And also then spent a large amount of the film's gross on the same, on buying up and cancelling medical debt, which is a fantastically humanitarian thing to do. Um, it means that the film loses resonance outside the US, where this is simply not that big a deal, where it's not as big an issue because we have public healthcare services in the rest of the world, most of the rest of the world. Dinklage, I thought, was very good for most of the movie. In fact, all the scenes with the mutated Toxies, there is a different actor playing the role. I believe Luisa Guerrero, an English physical performance artist, takes on the physical role while Dinklage performs the voice. And it's an impressively starry cast. As I said, the villain is Kevin Bacon. His henchman is Elijah Wood with a hunchback and a stick and a bizarre hairstyle. Even his confidant is played by Julia Davis, recognisable from BBC comedy of the 2000s. But it's a very well-made, entertaining film. It's enjoyable. It's light-hearted. It has a few things to say here and there about society, but it's mostly there just for fun, for silly gore and violence and swearing in front of children. And it's a good time. It's 90 minutes. It never outstays its welcome. It never feels like it's pushing the preachiness too hard or going too far with the violence or anything like that. It gets the balance just about right. And if you don't mind the absurd comic strip levels of blood and guts, it's certainly very enjoyable.